Weird. Okay, so I'm back. um, I was just noticing that it didn't ask me to start the stream again like it usually does. This time it just started. Yep. Learning, learning, learning. YouTube streaming versus Twitch. I Twitch my workouts in the morning, so you might. That's what I'm referring to. Okay, so let's get to it. Kind of the same thing I was doing this morning. Just continuing on the design process of the cards and coming up with ideas on how they're going to lay out. I don't know that I actually drew a sample, which probably would have made my life a little easier. So I think I'm going to load up my drawing pad here, and then can do some drawing that lay out the cards a little bit, so that it's easier to visualize when I'm actually putting cards down on the mat. Actually, what is beeping? That's kind of annoying. Okay. Actually, I guess I could just go to Publisher, and let's go here, and we'll say Save, and then go File. I'll say New. Let's see, we want cards. I think I actually did a card one. I think they're usually, what, 2 by 3 inches? Could have swore I had a card size one, or maybe that was in my old version. Alright, so it must be 2 inches by 3 inches. I believe that's the size of a standard playing card or a game card. So we'll just create one. Create new, and this will be 2 inches wide by 3 inches long. That don't seem right, huh? It must be 2.5 inches. 2.5 by 3 inches. How's that? Yeah, it looks a little closer. See, I have a card here. Why don't I measure it? I don't know how to measure it. That would be good. We will do that. That is, if I can find a ruler. Here we go. Pretty sure it's 2.5 by 3 inches, but we'll check. 2.5 by. Oh, they're 2.5 by 3.5. Wow, what do you know? What do I know? I tell you. Guess that makes sense because the mage gauge or the X case is 3.5 inches tall, and a card fits pretty much exactly in height. So that's why you can put decks of cards in there. So that's true. 2.5 by 3.5 inches. 0.5. Okay. And we will just work on that guy, and we will call him up. Sure looks weird though, doesn't it? It's hard to believe that's 2.5 by 3 inches. 2.5 by 3.5, yeah? Looks wrong, but apparently it's not wrong. These cards look more square than that. It looks kind of rectangle-y to me. Okay, so let's go ahead and start laying this out. So we were talking about getting some extra fields on here, so I'm just going to actually throw, don't really have the fields available, so we will just do, that's one drawback to trying to fill it in, because I don't think you can go back and change the text source of a box. So if I was to say mailings, and say alright, so we go here, and then we go use an existing, we say next. And I don't know why it doesn't want to go back to my original location, but go here, and it's under products, and under development. And YouTube Pokemon game. It's under the same game components spreadsheet, and this time it'll be are we doing encounter cards? I forgot. Encounter cards or area cards? Let's just do encounter area cards. I think that's the first one we were doing. And I don't know. Oh, it's a data source. Okay. Alright. So good. Alright. So now it's just a matter of trying to throw stuff onto our field and try to start making it sort of start making sense. So, so we'll have our card, which will be the name of the card. So that's going to be up here for now. We'll put it at the top. I mean, what's the most obvious place for the name to go? It's at the top. And then the type. I'm just kind of looking at, let's assume it's a Pokemon. Do we say if it's a basic? Probably should, huh? So stage. Should I have a field called stage? And we'll go there, and then we'll type in. Let's call these 2s and 3s all basic. And then maybe even this. No, we won't have. All right, we'll do 5. And these two guys will be a stage 1. Don't have a stage 2 yet. We'll have to figure out how stage 2s are going to work because they're going to come later. You're not going to see them right away. And we may not have all those things. So let's go ahead and just move down. Let's go ahead and copy some of this. We'll go from here and we'll put them. Let's go ahead and put it in the mountain, starting on the second row of mountain. And the second, and these are just going to be exactly the same. We'll add more in time, but we'll have each group have its own same set. There we go. So now we have a couple of basics, couple of stage 1s, and we will take the. We'll have to refresh this, I guess. We'll say save, and we'll put it in the same folder as this, and it will be the. Area, is that what I call them? Area cards? Yep, area cards. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put these things in, and apparently I don't have any results because it doesn't care. So that should have refreshed. Do we have stage on here now? May have to reconnect it because it's not showing my new field. Oh, I know why. So I hit save. I gotta actually save it, and then we can hit save and see if that shows up. Is it on there? Nope. Did not show up. Okay, so I may have to reconnect it. I did not know that. Create merged publication. Merge new publication. Add existing publication. Add the merged pages to the end of an existing. Create new publication with merged pages. Then edit and print individual pages. No. We'll just leave that alone. I'll just close that for now. I think we're good. And we're going to go to insert merge field, and we do not yet have our new field. It's insert merge field. Yeah. Dang it, I'm gonna have to reconnect. Okay. Edit recipient list. Let's see if that worked. Card type. Still not seeing my stage showing up, even though that said I refreshed it. Maybe it's not on here. Alright, I'll just go back, select it again. And it's under development. Our products in development. YouTube Pokemon game. Component. And then it's area cards. Hit OK. Let's see if now if it'll show up. Okay, for some reason our stage is not showing up on here. Don't know. Oh, wait, something. Interesting. I'm not getting my new field, even though I'm saving it and trying to get my new field. Ability just like a stop in here for some reason. Alright, let's try this. Let's just close it, see if that'll bring it up. So we're going to try to get this guy to connect correctly for us. Going to remove and remove. Now select an existing. Go all the way back over here again. Well, let's see. Let's give it one more chance to refresh now that we've because of engine errors. Don't know what an engine error is. Alright. Say yes. Oh, cancel. What did I do? Clicked here. Huh. Alright. Oh, that was strange. So we'll go. Then does do some weird stuff sometimes. Of course, I guess every app does, but let's go. YouTube Pokemon. Click this. Go back to area cards. Hit OK. Let's see if our stage shows up now. There it is. Stage is now available. So apparently you have to reconnect the spreadsheet. Good to know. And then we'll hit. Let's go ahead and put some stuff in here. We already have the card in there. We're going to want the stage, so we'll put the stage in here as well. We'll just put it in a tiny little corner back here. Drag him up here into the corner. We're going to kind of mimic an actual Pokemon card because, like I said, we're trying to see if we can design this to work with. I mean, if possible, I'm going to see if we can do this as using real TCG cards, which would mean we need to be able to at least get really close in the mimicking of those cards. So we got to do our best to, you know, I'm going to turn off this other monitor because it's just causing, I'm just blocking off my screen. Close this off for now. There we go. That should clear that, make a little bit more visible what the heck I'm doing. Alright, so but we're going to have some additional information. Like I said, our game, although it's going to try to it has the potential to maybe use TCG cards. How that plays out is going to first make it so that we have to at least have those fields that match. So we will have skills. So we'll do our skill down here, and there will be skill 1, And skill 2. Oops, nope. Skill 1. Actually, let's do skill 1 and skill 1 doesn't have a level. Okay, so we'll have skill 2, and then in skill 2 we'll have the skill 2 level, which will be part of that same set. Now, how skill 2 plays out and what we put in there with it is kind of the next question. But we'll do skill 3 first, and then we'll put a skill 3 level, and it's the same thing. The idea is that a Pokemon can have up to 3 skills. They can get stronger. They can have, text on them or whatever. But what they won't have, they will have also, unlike a TCG, they will have a level on them. So the difference is the TCG card, this is why they won't play naturally into the game, but you could play with your Pokemon cards in a TCG. It's just that your Pokemon are already set at a level. And what we may have to do is define what those, how to translate your TCG cards into their appropriate level, so that when you do decide to use those cards, they are what they are. So that's their, I don't know, their skill set. So you may have some that are really high. I don't know how big the Pokemon, I mean, I've noticed that cards now, the current TCG, they do not put levels on the cards. So if you're looking at these cards, they're, I guess Pokemon USA decided we're not going to bother. So that also makes it a little challenging to use it with a game that requires us to know the level of the cards. So it may very well be that if you play with these, you can't use leveling, so you are what you are. But we'll have to figure out a way to match your opponent, so your opponent Pokemon can work, so that you can adventure and maybe find new Pokemon or whatever. I don't know. May not be doable, but it'd be cool to be able to add these cards to the game. But we have to figure out how to do that. I don't think it's impossible. I just think it's got to take some work. And how complicated is it? I mean, how much work is a person going to have to go through to make that happen? I don't know. Okay, so same thing here. We'll have, oops, I want to put it over here. We'll put ability in, and we also have an ability level. So we may have to have what the ability is as a separate thing, because if we have ability level, we may actually say, you know what? I think I'm going to actually go like this, Control X. I'm going to put the ability level first, and I should probably do the same with skills. Just because we want to be able to say what they are and not have the ability level kind of be sitting in there. This is just kind of tells you what they are right out the gate. We do know that this is a number that's just going to kind of sit wherever we put our stuff in here. So, and since there isn't one there, we don't have to worry about it there. So let's see if I can. Let's align these guys up. We'll align them to the left. And let's see, can we arrange, do a vertical alignment? Sure. Nope. Did not like that. How about distribute horizontally? No, what did I do? I think it's because I also kind of messed them up. Oh no, how about vertically? I got to learn the difference between horizontal and vertical. Distribute vertically. Now it's all messed up because you can't, they're already overlapping. So if you want to fix that, they have to have a starting point. There we go. And is there any way we can make them all similar in size? Because I did not do that. Yep, well, that's not what I meant. But let's make this guy a little bigger. And Align. There's not a sizing thing. This is an opportunity for all those people I know who just love the idea of working in Publisher for their design process. This is what I'll call it the poor man's card building suite. I think it's cheaper than trying to do Adobe, only because it seems like Office is easier to get. Maybe it's because I've always known people who work with Office, so it's kind of a cheat. Align left. Let's try that again. Align left, and then arrange, distribute vertically. There you go. Everybody's even now. They don't usually put a whole bunch of stuff at the bottom, and I did not actually put the weaknesses in on the bottom, so we should probably add a weakness to the spreadsheet. I'm not going to oh, I didn't even, do I not have it open? Don't even have it open, which means it probably won't even let me put it in, because it's going to open it up and it's going to tell me that it's read only. Because I haven't put any of that stuff in. Go to mailings, and we'll go back here. All right, so now we got to put the stats. Now we're going to have a picture of whatever goes here. So we don't yet have an image to stick here, but let's just go insert picture field. I don't think I actually have a picture field. We will probably want one for our various Pokemon, so we can change the picture on a whim without having to go in here and reformat it. So let's just, we're probably going to need a picture field. Don't have one. What the heck is F6? Oh, F6 is let's call it F6, because I think it was a field I accidentally left in there. We'll do that. Insert picture field, and we'll call it F6. Only because I haven't yet used it yet, and I can just put stuff in it. What the heck? Alright, that'll be where our Pokemon picture goes, at least for the moment. And these are like, you know, I could do this, and then drag these down a little lower. Make our picture field a little bigger. So it's just going to look a little bit like a Pokemon card, so it's going to be very unoriginal in that way. But, and again, for all you Pokemon licensee people, this is not meant to be developed, not by us anyway. So I'm just doing this as an exercise in game design. So we'll call it we'll call it what would the perfect Pokemon board game look like? Now, perfect is you know, a matter of opinion, of course, but since I developed this one, of course it has to be perfect, because I'm developing it. So, you know, perfect is a given, right? The end result, it's got to be expected. And if anybody disagrees that it's perfect, well, then maybe you should have been here helping me design it at the time. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put in here things that we do need. We do need to have strength. Strength is the thing. We're going to put that up here. Oh, no. Come on, don't be naughty. So we're going to go up here. We're going to put this in the corner. Then we're going to put another one. That's going to be stamina. And that too will go up here. And then we'll have another one that is the defense, which will go up there. And they are going to be made to be aligned so that they're not ugly. Align top. Nope, it's distribute horizontally. And we'll say, let's make them smaller so they're not all overlapping each other. And then we'll say align top. And is there any way? Gosh, I know there's got to be a way to make these all the same size, but I can't figure it out. Nope, I cannot find the format that makes them all the same size. Maybe I'm confusing other apps that let you do that. Relative margin guides. Oh, I could just do this. I don't know which one's which. Oh, okay. That's cool. I didn't know I could do that. So it's 1.3.23. So let's just say we'll make them all 1. Let's go like this. Now we'll go to drawing terms and we'll go 1.2 height. Nope, that was the wrong one. Must be this one. 1.2. Nope. So whatever I thought I was reading, I wasn't reading correctly. Okay, so let's try that again. We only want these. Let's try 0.5 inches, whatever that is. No, it's 0.5 inches. And this guy, that's still too big. How about point? Oh, that's what this is. 0.5. Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm learning. I'm getting this. I'll have it soon. 0.25. And 0.25. I'm sure I'm doing this wrong. So width. I actually want the width to be 0.5. There we go. Alright, so question is, how big a font do we want these guys to be? So let's go over here and change our font, because if they're too big, then the text will be gargantuan. So we have to go, let's go here, let's go ahead and make him a 8 on text. And then we will format paint and put it there, and we'll put it there. Alright, and we'll leave that at that. Are we not evenly spaced anymore? Let's shrink that a little bit more. We will say width is probably a little too much because they're overlapping, obviously. So say 0.3. And then we'll align horizontally. All right, so now we got our 3 stamina, strength, and defense in place. We have a picture. We have to have our HP, which is really, again, these are starting points. So when we put down HP, it'll simply go up in the corner, just like we are familiar with. Okay. And let's, now we're just putting a number in. So what's actually what we want to do is have it be, have it be something that's easy to, so we know what it is. So on there, on the Pokemon cards, they put HP on here, and they make it in super uber tiny print. So let's go ahead and put that at, I don't know, we'll say font of 8 also. I don't know how tiny this really is, but I'm sure it's tiny enough. And the problem with with a really tiny print is people will hate it. So, but their actual field here. So this may actually be like 10, and you can see there's a lot of margin in these. I don't know why they do it that way, but if we want to really shrink our, you gotta go in here and change the text. Character spacing or paragraph. Okay, so we want to put in, let's see here, use this option to adjust the spacing for highlight and block of text. Automatic pair kerning. I don't know what kerning is, to be honest, but uses often function space between two characters. I don't want to change the space between the characters. Let's see what this does. I think it actually might be the paragraph that I want. This is character spacing. I don't want to change the character spacing. I want to change the paragraph. Aha, that's what I want. So between lines, we don't want anything between lines because there's not going to be additional lines. The goal is that we're pretty much just going to take away all the extra space out of here. And then after paragraphs, we're not doing that either because we're not really putting in a paragraph of data. But we just don't want it to add any space. So this should allow us to get a pretty small, nice tight fit. And then we'll bring this forward. And let's go ahead and it's not horizontal spacing. There's little spacing. So you can't align top and bottom, which is kind of what I was shooting for. I'm hoping to align to the bottom automatically. So we don't actually have a ton of see, the problem is when you cut off the top, it actually cuts off the top. So gotta be kind of careful with that. We'll see how this looks. By not having character spacing on top, it actually cuts it off the top of this box, which is kind of weird actually. Oops. I'm gonna go in here, change text just a bit more, because apparently space between lines is an issue. Let's go there. There you go. Brought it back into the box. So let's go ahead and do the same thing with these. This just allows us to get a tighter fit for stuff. So this is going to go all the way down. We'll take this up to 0.5 and we won't have any after paragraph stuff. Should put us back into a nicer fit. We'll go paragraph that and that. Now we got to actually identify what we're doing here. So let's see, strength. And we'll do the same basic thing we did with the other, just to make it consistent. We'll make this guy 10. Why not? And this guy will be a 10. But right before that, what is stamina? Stamina? S-T-A, I guess? Oops. Stamina will be 9, or an 8, sorry. And then defense will be just DEF. That'll be an 8. And then this will be 10. Okay. Again, we're going to try to make this a little more visually appealing. It'll be pretty small in the box. Let's see how that looks when we actually put some numbers in. Same thing, we got to actually do a lot of that with these other ones as well. So now these ones we can't get rid of the line spacing in between them very much because there will actually be words for each one. We may actually have to decide if there's going to be a description to skills or if we're just going to include it in the skill to value. We will want these to go a little bit more across the board because we're going to give them the space, right? We do want our stuff to actually fit. And we don't know yet what the skill, maybe the skill will come with damage. We may have to decide what the damage value of those skills are. They have to come with something, right? So we'll align left. And then our ability will just be centered, but we want it to be as big as these other guys. So they it can take up some space as well, and it will be centered. And then, so things I'm missing, it looks like. I got to write some notes so I can remember to go put those into my Excel spreadsheet. We'll say, put in my sticky note. I like sticky notes because this stuff actually goes into your OneNote on your phone, so you can add that. So these are some other things I wanted to put in to the game, and I already spoke about these items this morning. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to put in damage field for each skill, and then we're also going to want to include, do we want to have a card type symbol? Probably really should. Maybe that's our type field. Don't we have a type field on here? We don't. Put one in. Type field for card type symbol. I should probably be able to find that online, right? I mean, those are pretty common symbols. And we'll use the same ones. Again, this is Pokemon, so we want to have it be consistent with Pokemon. So there's a retreat cost in on the cards. Probably won't use that. I'm thinking that the simple fact is if you retreat in the game, I think the opposing Pokemon's going to get to hit you. So they're going to hit the new guy who comes out, which is a little bit more like the video game, right? If you retreat in a video game, the opponent gets to take a swing at you, and the new guy gets smacked. Because the retreat is actually your turn. Versus in the card game, a retreat is not your turn. So they penalize you by taking away your energy. But there's no reason to take away your energy, because you don't actually have permanent energy in this game. Your energy is kind of called upon when you make your action. So you'll have it in your hand and you'll play it. So you want to have energy in your deck. That's why it's good to have, a good chunk of energy, if not all energy to start. And then as you get stronger, you get to start putting other stuff in there that maybe could help, because you won't need energy for everything. And basically you'll have more options when your Pokemon is out there. It could be more tricky if, like, I don't know, maybe your Pokemon has he might have some heal energy or something that's only colorless, but you need to have fighting for certain attacks. So you got to make that aware, or an item that you're thinking of. Okay, so we have type of field for card types, and we'll stick those in pretty much in just a minute. I just want to get those out of the way for a moment, and we'll finish trying to get all our stuff in. We have skill 1, skill 2, skill level. We have offense, we have stamina, we have our strength in there, HP. We don't have the starting level, so we're going to go ahead and put our level on here. So we have our card, and then we have this. Oh yeah, let's go fix this. Change text, paragraph, same thing. We're going to drop this down to 0.5 and take this away. And that one is stage, which probably needs a little bit of room. We'll just expand this out a little bit. And since the card itself, probably going to need to go a smaller name than the word stage, I guess. Then we'll bring this one back as well. Give ourselves 2 inches of space for that. Okay, so we have our level. We don't have our level. Where should we put level? Let's put level. Let's put level right here, right in the middle, right before strength. Then we'll go change text, character spacing. Oops, nope, wrong thing. Paragraph spacing. Change text, paragraph. And then we'll drop this all the way down to 0.5 and take this off. And we'll leave that at 10. Let's actually leave that at 10. But we will do the same thing we did with the other one. We'll create an L. We'll just say level. And we'll put this in at 9. Or 8, sorry. Okay, so we have our level, we have our offense, stamina, ability level, stage. And then these fields we have not created yet, but we'll have to put those in shortly. So let's save. So now you can kind of see where everything's going to go. What we don't have, we're missing something. So our L is supposed to be capital, and if it is, then it's not showing up correctly. So we got little things that we have to tweak. We haven't put in any stage values, so none of this stuff has values yet. This is where our minimum level is going to be for our skills. So let's go back to mailings, and then we'll take this out. We have to make our L more readable. Apparently, I did not make it as the same. Let's see if this changes anything. That won't work. So that one is set at 10. He's at 10 and 9. So these must not be the same height. They are not. Okay. So we'll increase this one up. We do not want them overlapping, so we'll bring him back a little bit. There we go. Let's select them all, and then we'll align bottom, and we will also align horizontally. There we go. And do they have the reduce? I don't think they have the reduce. I know Access used to have a reduce option where you can actually reduce the gaps so they get small enough. And with this, I probably could just make this guy a little smaller because he's not going to have what, tops of three values. All right, and this guy, ability level, we'll put him in parentheses as well. So they don't always have that right out the gate. And that's going to be different from any of your Pokemon cards that are out there. We also need to add into our little thing, we need to add our weakness and resistance. Weakness / resistance fields. And we're not going to put retreat on it right now. We're avoiding the retreat thing because like I said, we don't get to keep our energy on our guys, but you could constantly put down as much as you want. You just don't get to keep it, and it'll cycle around each time your Pokemon does something. I'd like it to be where you never get to draw all your cards from your deck unless you're knocked out. Because if you pick up your last card, you're knocked out. You should never be able to, you should always have cards in your deck. So if you've only got 30 HP, there should be, or 3 HP. I mean, you should have 3 cards available to you, right? Because you haven't taken any damage yet. So maybe you only draw on your turn. So we got to decide how that's going to work. There's a few things that was not working. Because okay, so if your deck is the size of your Pokemon, and maybe if it's at the end of your turn, you can't put any cards back, then you are knocked out. So that would give you a chance to attack after you've been damaged. That's not good. Oh, no, actually, I think we could probably make that work. What we'll do is you don't draw your cards back up in your hand until your turn, and then at your turn you draw your cards. If you don't put any cards back in your deck at the end of your turn, then you're knocked out. So we can call it like poison or something, because typically your cards go back into your deck unless you're using some temp usage cards, which almost all of them, I think we're going to make all temp cards be, yeah, I think if at the end of your turn, let's put that in the rules. I'm ready to add another rule that's going to help clarify things. So we'll go here, and down in our rules, which is down here, rules for game, Pokemon Dex rules, NPC shops, Pokemon Dex. When cards are discarded, that's damage. Pokemon. I haven't really gone into the battling too much, but let's just write it down here for now. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do battle. Pokemon Dex battle. On your turn, draw a number of cards equal to current Pokemon strength from the Pokemon deck. The Pokemons, this is not plural, this is ownership, Pokemon's deck. If at the end of your turn you have no cards in the draw deck, your Pokemon is knocked out. If at the end or the beginning of your that Pokemon's turn, if at the end or the beginning of that Pokemon's turn you have no cards in the draw deck, your Pokemon is knocked out. So that'd be good, because then like poison, at the end of your turn, maybe poison makes you discard a card. It's your choice, but you lose one. That's one less card to put back. So you're going to be in kind of a tight bind if you start running out of cards. So small Pokemon obviously can't take a lot of poison, but I think that's what we'll do. I'm going to have let's start making since we have it, let's also, and I definitely have some organization to do. I'm just throwing stuff in here, but status effects. Poison. At the end of the active Pokemon's turn, discard one card from the draw deck. If no cards, actually let's do this. At the end of the active Pokemon's turn, after discard, let's say at the end of the Pokemon's action or action phase. At the end of the Pokemon's action phase, discard one card from that Pokemon's deck. Pokemon's draw deck. If no cards remain in the draw deck, that Pokemon is knocked out. What else do we have? We have burn. Burn can be tough, but burn is just like poison, right? So it's the same thing. Flip at the end of the active Pokemon's turn action phase. Flip a coin. If tails, discard 2 cards from that Pokemon's draw deck. If no cards remain, the active Pokemon is knocked out. If heads, that Pokemon is no longer burned. There you go. I'm sure I can be more concise with that. And in time, I will be. I will clean it up some, because that's my thing. I know how to concisize words. Concisize? I'm trying to decide what is the correct pronunciation of a word that does not exist. So, you know, it's concisely. Okay. It's getting late in the day. I can tell. My brain is starting to get loopy. Where are we at? We're like 15 minutes in. Alright, so we got burn and we got poison identified. What is stun? Stun is just simply that Pokemon what? Can't attack? Stun. Active Pokemon. Active Pokemon cannot attack. You. You know, I'm starting to think maybe I do want to have the trainers in. I was kind of thinking you wanted to put the cards you needed for your Pokemon to function. I was kind of thinking you wanted to put those in your Pokemon draw decks, you know, like Pokeballs and all that fun stuff. But nah, I'm actually thinking I'm going to put those in the trainer deck. And unless they're special energy, like capture energy or something, we'll create some stuff that does go in your Pokemon decks. They have to be used as part of a Pokemon's deck because they're perma cards. But I think the one-time use cards that that do not recycle will go to your trainer deck, and then so those ones go away. This way you don't have to weaken your Pokemon to use them, unless they're, you know, these special energies which have an effect that you would lose it for the time being. We'll go to your discard, kind of almost like taking damage, but it is the drawback of the function of those cards. Stun. Active Pokemon cannot attack for one turn. Is this stun or paralyze? I forgot what they call that. And then there's confused. What do we want to do with confused? Confused is a chance at not attacking. It's basically stun. It's the burn version of stun, but it goes on until you get rid of it. Let's just say, let's do this one kind of interesting. Flip 2 coins. 2 heads. Active Pokemon is no longer confused. One heads. Active Pokemon is stunned. Does not attack. 2 tails. Active Pokemon. Do you want to say hits himself? That's what it is. That was an option. I always thought it was weird though. How do you hurt yourself? You could fire a fireball, it just explodes in your face. That's pretty sucky. Figuring out how to do that. We could just make it a fixed amount. Does 10 damage to himself. 2 tails, active Pokemon. Takes 10 damage and does not attack. And cannot attack. What else do they have? Is it poison, burn, stun, confused? I feel like there's something else, but I don't know what it would be. I know there's at least those 4. But hey, let's go with that. We might not even do that with confused. I don't know if I like that, but it works and it gives us something to put on them. Maybe it's just something like maybe it's just heads. In your tails you take 10 damage. But heads it goes away. That's like it'd be like a weak poison. Right? So 10 damage is just discard a card. So, but it's always, maybe it's discard a card before attack. I don't know. Let's leave it for now. Okay, so we also wanted to go, before we stop, we've got to put our little extra information into our spreadsheet. Let's go ahead and save on here. And then we will go to our spreadsheet. Game component definitions right here. We gotta make sure we put our other fields in. So I'm gonna have to put some numbers in here at some point. What did we say this was gonna be? That was gonna be the, we have HP, we have level. Was this going to be, it's the name of the card. Let's see, mountain, fire. You know what? Water, mountain, fire, grass. We're missing. It's not really mountain. I keep calling it mountain, but it should probably be fighting Pokemon, huh? Because that's not a terrain. It's really hard to remember that. I call it mountain, but it should probably be fighting. I don't know. That's like fire, grass. I'm going to call it fighting because I don't know what that would be otherwise. Okay. I'm just going to take our same old information here. HP. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure this HP thing out, how we're going to do it. Like I said, I want to try to come up with formulas that work. It's too hard to put random numbers in because if you put formulas, it'll be a lot more reliable, and it also means you don't have to do anything but put in like a base number and then it'll calculate the rest. Or maybe you have a couple of base numbers, and that's way more useful, and it's going to keep things balanced better. You're not going to end up with weird stuff that falls outside of the ranges of allowed. Okay, so forgot what this was supposed to be called. It's not supposed to be called. Where did we put F6? We put let's see, where was that? was F6. Where did we put it on the card? Do I have to open the card again? Is that the picture? If that's the case, then I was wrong, because it must be the picture. Yeah, we'll say picture. We'll call it the image. Book, card image. Because I didn't really put in a spot for that. And I'm going to actually go Control X. Things are going to get out of whack if I move that, I think. Yep. Let's just leave it for now. So we needed to add other fields. We have to add our weakness and resistance. These might have to be images too. I mean, right? I mean, if it's just straight up weakness and resistance, it might be easier to do weakness and resistance straight up versus yeah, so that means they be images. Weakness and resistance might be image fields because we want them to look like you know, little symbols. And what else we got? Type field for card type symbol. That's interesting. So I have this. Why didn't that, did I not put that in? Why didn't I just use that? Damage field, weakness, resistance, type field. Alright, so I think we have all of our stuff in here. We put the fields in we were going to put in. You know, we don't have, we have the skill and the level that they have, but we didn't actually put a cost. But maybe that goes in with the, because we don't have a couple things. We don't have the name and the description of the skill, which is the primary thing. We have the skill level, which is going to be like an extra value that goes on there. But we're also going to have things like skill cost and damage if we don't want to have to try to format those differently. So skill 2, do something like insert. I'm hoping this will work. We'll call this skill cost, and then one cost, skill 2 damage. Oops, skill 1 damage. And then we call it like this, and we say copy. And then we go skill 1, skill 1, oh, insert copied cells, and these should be 2s. Let's go ahead and put them in after 3 here too. Oh, that didn't go very well. Skill 1 cost, skill 1 damage. I somehow put those into the same field. I managed to copy 2 fields, but somehow I put them inside of the same field. Don't know how I did that. So, skill 3. Alright, so we got 1. And this is a 2. And this is a 2. And I don't know where 3 went. So I know I put it in there, but it's, I don't know. Insert copied cells. There we go, we'll delete this one. I'll go like that. Alright, so we got all the 3, skill 3 damage, Skill 3. Wait a minute. Skill 3. Alright, I'm getting confused. Let's put these in red. And then we have skill 2. Should also have 4 items because we have a level. Alright, so there's that. And we'll put those in as sure, we'll put them in as gray. Why not? And then skill 3 has damage. Oh, so this damage. We already have level. I don't know how. What the heck? And cost. Skill 2 cost. I like the S. It's simpler. More to the point. Skill 1 cost. No point in typing it out if we already know what it is. This one damage. Plus it's easier to read. I put skill for the first thing, and then after that we just know it's S. S1. It's 2 damage. S2 level. Skill 3. Skill 3 damage. S3 cost and S3 level. Right, so 3 cost. Alright, and let's go ahead and make these their own special color as well, just because I want to know that they're unique. Put them in as whatever color that is. Oh, it's too light. Gotta go darker. Let's go like that. There we go. There we go. At least we know that they're. We can see them now. We know which ones we're looking at. And I don't think any Pokemon ever have 4 moves, so I think we're okay there. Definitely have to start filling in some values on this so we can see how cool it's going to look on our card, and then we have to start putting some pictures. So you know, this is the thing about design. You know, you start designing your own games, and it's fun to come up with the rules and have it start to shape in your head. But before you can actually play it, it's got a shape on the table. And although you might have some great ideas for, you know, layout and what it's going to look like, and we're actually copying one, so it makes it a little easier for this purpose. Now, if I ever have to retheme, I may have to decide about how to change those up. But for now, we can cover retheming in a whole nother stream segment or stream series. But for now, I think what we're going to do is we're just going to have to keep plugging away. Takes a little time. I'm only doing an hour or 2 a day, maybe with a few little overages. These aren't full day processes, but you know, you can come back, catch a taste. If you do, let me know what you think. Put comments in the video, and let me know what I can do to make it more interesting, or what other information you'd like me to give. Something a little bit more, maybe more take-homeable. I mean, obviously, I think things like mail merge and stuff like that is usable, but you know, if you want ideas and other kinds of information on design, feel free to reach out, and I'll be glad to give you my feedback. And until next time, probably tomorrow at 11, I'll probably do it again. Talk to you then.